Before you make the mistake of contracting with the wrong IMO, which stands for Insurance Marketing Organization, save yourself some trouble, guys, and watch this video. I'm going to be going over some really important things that I'm telling you, you're definitely going to want to know about before signing, including transparency, well, really the lack of transparency with most of these big IMOs, and what to avoid in an IMO, what to ask for about leads, and this is super important, and field training. Hey, all IMOs have some sort of training platform. However, most don't really have much to offer, and a lot of them can't even get you in the car with an agent. And if you'll stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of both the prop file, which has a bunch of the props that I used during my final expense presentation, and the objection super file. This thing's pretty cool. It has scripts on what I say and do when people give me some type of objection, you know, when I'm calling to set appointments, door knocking leads, or even when it comes time to close the sale. One of the first signs of a potentially bad IMO, or at least maybe an IMO you want to avoid, is when you're invited to a group meeting and they tell you to bring your friends and family. Being invited to a live training is one thing, but there's only one reason you'd be told to bring anyone and everyone to a group meeting or even like a convention, a big event. And that's so that your friends and family will be invited or recruited into a multi-level marketing insurance agency. And before we go any further, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe with the notifications turned on so that you know when we put out new content. In my opinion, the MLM, multi-level marketing insurance agency model, will only work if you are the right type of person that's really good at convincing people to do what you're doing, which is basically means sell insurance and recruit more agents to sell insurance. My thinking is, well, why would you want to bring anyone else into the insurance business unless you're already a master, or at least you know what you're doing and can teach them how to do what you do? Let's talk a little bit about transparency now. There are companies that will tell you how they start you at their 100% level, and then you contract with several of the insurance carriers that they ask you to contract with, and then you find out that like only one or two of the products actually pays 100% first year commission. And to make it worse, those are usually either the more expensive products or products where the underwriting is really strict, or even worse, the products that pay 100% are through Americo. All right, why is this a problem? Well, Americo has this reputation in our industry for pulling the file on your bigger sales after they've been on the books, and it's usually about a year and a half. And this is okay by law. They are allowed to pull another MIB and script check. And when they see something that maybe they don't like or they missed the first time around, even if it's been since you sold the policy, they will rescind said policy. You do not want a policy rescinded. This means a full chargeback. You have to give your commission back to the carrier, and the client ends up getting all their money back, and now they're like, well, I don't understand what happened. And if they've got other health issues, you may not even be able to get them anything else. Another potential transparency issue to look for is like whether you are an independent agent, which can easily be released from each carrier and moved to another IMO. That's the whole idea of being independent. You work for yourself. You don't have to worry about being stuck with someone. Or if you're being told that you're independent, only to find out that the insurance agency, the IMO, will not sign a general release agreement to allow your contracts to be moved. There is an insurance agency, and I'm not going to mention them by name. They got real deep pockets, and they're huge. They have 3 initials in their name. They will tell you that you're an independent agent, and then when you want to be released, they're going to tell you, just have your new upline sign this horrible thing that's just shady as heck, and it basically says that once you're released, that they can sue you and the upline for anything, and the upline will be responsible for the lawyer fees, whether the lawsuit is legitimate and has basis or not. So here's something else to be aware of. If you're being recruited by someone who was recruited, and they were recruited by someone else, then you're like 4 levels down, the recruitment line. And think about that. That's not a good sign, and let me explain why. You were probably recruited and told that you're going to start at this 100% level, but with enough production, you're going to be able to go to like 140 or 150%. Just think about this. If you're 4 levels down and the top level is that 140, for instance, then how will anyone above you make money? All these people, what, you're just going to jump them? I mean, they recruited you, and the only time that they make money off you is when you sell or recruit someone. They're squeezing a little bit off the top. That's how the IMOs, that's how the agency owners make their living. What do you think is actually going to happen if you are doing better than the person above you? I mean, if you're selling more than your upline, the person who brought you into the business. I mean, think about that. Do you really think that they're going to raise your commission equal to theirs or higher than theirs just because you work harder? Guys, that's not how it works. They busted their butt to bring you into the business. You will always be below them. And if you want to leave, if you're with the wrong company, it's not going to be real easy. This is the big flaw with the whole multi-level marketing, MLM, insurance business model. And to me, this is a total non-transparent scam. There, I said it. And this is why all my agents contract direct to me. I own the IMO, and everyone has an equal shot of building their own agency if they want to, and there's no second or third or fourth level tiers to deal with. Let's talk about leads. And here's something else that it kind of really aggravates the heck out of me, and something for you to be aware of. These companies that resell leads over and over and over, in my opinion, are just not cool. I mean, when it comes to final expense leads and Medicare Advantage leads, there is no reason for you to work someone else's leads. There's several companies that you pay that will drop mail for you, the direct mail lead cards, specifically for you in the areas that you want to work in, and you never have to worry about getting a lead that was already sold to someone else. And if you are thinking about doing something like that and you're stuck with one of these MLMs, my favorite company is the Leads Connection. I've had really good returns with them in the past when I did use them. And we have our own fixed cost lead mail program. So our agents pay the same exact price per lead and never have to worry about how many leads come back from each drop. And this is why I say that's important, because remember, when you pay someone to drop 1,000 pieces of mail for you, for instance, you're hoping for a high return. And you could easily pay like $60 or even over $100, which I've paid in the past for each lead when you do it on your own like this. Here's one last thing to look for, guys. Have you ever been out in the field selling and you needed to speak with someone about a client? You needed to get a hold of your upline, get some advice about a carrier or a product or whatever, maybe an underwriting assessment, and you really want to speak with them, and for some reason you just can't get them on the phone. Not cool. And here's how I see it. If you're new and your upline knows that you're out selling, let me put it that way, if they know you're out in the field selling and that you might need help, and they don't answer your call or call you right back, you're definitely working with the wrong people. There is absolutely no need for this kind of disrespectful nonsense. Now, with that being said, if you're the type of person who hasn't sold anything and yet you're calling your upline every day for something that can be taken care of through like text or email, or maybe some type of thing that can easily be rendered, with good old common sense, then maybe the problem isn't with your upline. Maybe that's with you. For a copy of the prop file and the objections super file that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on working with our agency as a completely independent agent, and what that means for you is top contracts for final expense and full vesting on the first day for all the products, and yes, lifetime renewals for Medicare Advantage sales. Our Medicare Advantage agents even have access to a free leads program. Just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get on out there, guys, and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.